Hello everybody, Mannix here. Going to be doing a knife review on yet another home run from Ganzo, the 756 Firebird. I think Firebird's a subsidiary of them or something. You have the logo there. It says by Ganzo. I don't know what the Firebird's supposed to represent, but maybe it's just another. Who cares? Anyway, this is a really good knife. And yes, a lot of people don't like Ganzo for basically just one reason, and that reason is they tend to heavily influence their knives' designs from other knives that have been created. This one looks quite similar to a Benchmade Osborne, to me, anyway. But it's, it's extremely functional. You get that same design, you get that same, generally the same blade shape. It's not the exact same knife, there's quite a few differences here. But its shape looks very similar to that. A lot of people are going to get mad at that. They're going to get angry that you're supporting a company that's stealing a design. Yeah, I understand, but if you look at the knife for what it is, this review is just going to be about how this knife performs. How it functions, how it feels, how it looks, the price. That's what this review is on, just this knife as a tool on its own. Leaving all the politics and stuff out of it. So, I'm a huge fan of this knife. I love the way the Benchmade Osborne looks, and I saw this one. I don't think the Osborne popped into my head, but I never had one before. I handled one, I really liked it, but I just saw this, like, oh, that's a really cool looking knife, and then later it kind of clicked, oh, it looks like an Osborne, doesn't it? Yeah, it's very similar. It's not quite the same size or length, I don't believe, but it's very close. Very influenced design again, but you get a very cool blade shape there. Let's just get the specs out of the way. I looked up all over the internet, and apparently the specs don't exist anywhere, I guess, so we're going to have to measure this together. So let us do just that. I got this little ruler app right here because I'm too lazy to go all the way back upstairs to get a ruler. So about 3.5 inches on the edge there, but the blade as a whole is closer to 3.39 inches, I guess. I wish they used decimals, but whatever. Handle length, we got about a little above 4 inches. So let's just say like 4.5 inches, so that would make the overall length. It's roughly 9 inches, slightly redundant. So let's get the weight on here. 4.49, so about 4.5 ounces. Little bit of a heavier guy, but they really skeletonized this out a lot. You can even see right there in the black liners, heavily skeletonized. So those G10 scales, they're dense and they are going to heft it up a little bit, so that makes sense. It is buttery smooth, really smooth. Actually, I actually kind of tightened it up a little bit because I wanted a solid side-to-side lockup, so it's a little bit more stiff, but it still opens up very well. We have an axis lock there, which is nice. I love the orange and black color. You can get this in, I think, regular black and satin, I believe. There's a couple different color designs you can get. I like the kind of the blue anodized hardware on here is really cool. And the screws and on the thumb stud. It will kind of wear over time, but it seems to be holding up pretty good. I've had this knife for quite a while now. Really nice touch there, like really cool design. Then we have like these three little, like, I guess it's like FRN inserts or something. I don't know what those are, but they're like these neon green color. I'm not really into those. I think it kind of cheapens the knife, honestly. I don't like the way it looks so much, but it's not a big deal. The knife as a whole is super cool looking. We have some jimping here. Doesn't work too well, but it works okay. Whatever. Pillar construction. Pocket clip. It's basically the Spyderco standard pocket clip, and it works very well. Very proven design. Perfect pocket clip. Works extremely well. You have a little bit poking out your pocket, but not too much there, and it's firm enough, but it's not too loose, not too tight. It's plateaus right here. We got a good pinch there. It's rounded, so you're not going to scrape anything very easily. It's just a perfect pocket clip. It's blackened too. Again, I love the colors here. Love the black and orange and the blue. The blue screen. That's such a nice, cool touch. I like that. The blue hardware. Again, not a fan of these three green lines right here, but it's all. I guess it's supposed to help provide grip or something. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. That blade shape is awesome. I would call that, what would you call that? It's drop point? It's definitely a modified, kind of reverse Tonto, some people would call it. It's very good strength for piercing. You have a decent amount of belly there, so it's just a good overall blade. It's got a lot of length to it. It's thin, a lot of reach on here. It's somewhat of a larger, skinnier knife, but the handle is very hand-filling. It's not slim. I'm not really a huge fan of the slimmer knives. I like having more to hold on to. It's just more comfortable for me. It's just a preference. Very comfortable, very versatile, simple design. There's not like any crazy choils or grooves or anything. And those designs can be extremely comfortable because they kind of melt into your hand. But they're extreme. So some people have a very big hand, or if you have a very small hand, for those people, like if that design wasn't meant for you, you're not going to like it. But if it matches your hands, you are going to like it. The upside to having a versatile kind of handle design like this is that it floats just about everybody's boat. 440C blade on there. Not the best steel in the world, but it has worked just fine for many, many decades. So Ganzo actually has a good heat treatment. So it's razor sharp out of the box, and just continue to strop it if you use it a whole bunch. I don't cut stuff all day, day in and out. I occasionally use it for work, and occasionally open up a package or some plastic wrap or something. I don't really know what people are doing with their knives all day to the point where like, man, I really need a better steel. This one just sucks. Unless if you're like cutting stuff all day, yeah, you're gonna notice it gets a little dull on you. But if you just use them normally and then like, just continue to strop them, you're gonna be all set. So for 20 bucks, yes, that's how much this knife costs. $20, just about, maybe 22, 25, depending on where you look. But that's, wow, that's very, 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 very cheap. And Benchmade, I believe, they use 440C on some of their knives too, and nobody complains about those, generally speaking. So it's all in the heat treatment. If Benchmade made this knife right here, this exact knife, I know they make the Osborne, but I'm talking this exact knife, same exact materials, and they just made it. They could probably get away with selling it for about 80 or 90 bucks, honestly, because it's a US company. So when you make stuff in the US, yeah, it costs a little more, but at the same time, they do kind of jack up their prices because they can. People buy their knives at that price, so why wouldn't they price it at that? It makes sense, supply and demand. But that being said, it doesn't mean they have to price it at that. They're really, really kind of up in the stratosphere with some of those knives. Their prices anyway, but generally speaking. But this is like off the charts value right here. 20 bucks for a very functional, just solid lockup. There's no up and down. A little bit of side to side, but I can adjust more of that out if I want. But it's not much worse than most other knives. Even $110 knives still have issues like that too. So it's not really that big of a deal. It's a good lockup. I like how there's an access lock there, so it's very easy to open and close. It's very smooth, fast. I like that. Really fast. I love it. Blade just comes flying out every time. Very long blade right there. I like that. Reverse grip carries just like that. Sick. I like the G10 pattern here. It's kind of a mild. It's like Spyderco Tenacious G10 basically. It's smooth enough, but it's grippy enough at the same time. I love G10. G10's awesome. And again, they lightened it up as much as they could. A little bit heavier, 4.5 ounces or so. But it's not that big of a deal. It feels very balanced for what it is. So for 20 bucks, you get a good sharp blade steel. I mean, maintain it, but it is good for what it is. It's not bad. Not bad at all, actually. It's actually really good for what it is. You get a comfortable handle, you get the access lock, you get the skeletonized liners in there, because the reason I keep mentioning stuff like that in these reviews is that every single thing you do and add to the knife, if you add a little jimping, if you drill in holes on the other side, by the way, you can swap that tip up pocket clip to the left side, that's also good. Every tiny little thing you do, it adds to the cost. It's another step, it's another process, it takes up more time, it puts more wear on the machines, it adds to the cost in the long scheme of things. But that being said, it's amazing to me how these companies are able to do all of these little intricate detail things, even simple things like coloring the screws and stuff, and they still keep the price down ridiculously low. It's like suspiciously low. It's amazing how cheap these Ganzos are. Again, if a reputable company made these overseas, they could charge maybe like 35, 40 bucks for it. If it was US made, you're going to be looking at like 80, 90, maybe 100 if the company wishes to price it at that. And then everybody would end up buying it, and then they say it's the best knife ever, and it's, it's worth every penny. There's a reason it costs what it costs. And then if some Chinese company and they charge it for like 20 bucks, everyone's, oh, it's the worst piece of crap in the world. It's just funny the way it works out that way. But I think this knife, for what it is, disregarding the politics, disregarding where it's made from, blah blah blah, it's just an amazing, just off the charts value. Absolutely off the charts value. I really like the way it looks. I love orange on handles, and I love black blades, and then that combo together is so cool. And they have a variety of colors, as I said. Good pocket clip, fast, strong, sharp. It's just no complaints from me. No complaints from me whatsoever. This is a 10 out of 10 right here. If you like the way it looks, the short version of the review is just buy it right now. Thanks for watching.